As far as school resource officers go, I would love to find a way to fund to have law enforcement at these school districts. It is costly. As you saw, Florida has a piece of legislation to try to do that. It's about $600 million a year that they have to find. That's a lot of money. I will say this, if you have a school that has multiple buildings, one law enforcement officer would be difficult to travel around to every single building. So from my standpoint, obviously I think that there's ways that we can work with the school districts on when it comes to safety and what to do. I think one entry point's a big deal. I think having office check-ins is a big deal. And quite frankly, and I'll say this, and I've said this before, and it will probably be in the paper tomorrow because we were interviewed on it, I really truly believe that if a school district or a school system has some people that are current staff that would love to volunteer to get some additional training, to be able to have firearms training, I have no problem with that. I think that we have to make sure that we can find ways to defend the most helpless. And I've always thought that. So I think that's something that we actually have to look into, is how do we protect the students? And I am a big proponent of the Second Amendment. I always have been since day one. That's never going to change for me. And I think that we can solve that issue. Another part of all of this too that I really want to touch on is I believe that we severely underfund mental health issues in our state. You have to solve behaviors, right? If you look at what occurred in Florida, it was a behavior. If you look at what a lot of things happen when it starts with certain drug abuse and everything else, it's behaviors. We severely underfund it. I think Monroe County gets the short end of the stick when it comes to mental health issues because of the other counties that we're tied into. And I think we need to look at how we can change that and solve that. I give a lot of credit to Troy at the Sheriff's Department and others that have worked to do a mental health court to create a diversion program for people, as opposed to just putting them in jail, which helps nobody. We have to do something to fix that. I think if we looked at funding levels and figure out ways to create programs and solve those problems early on, we can solve some of what's going on today. Are you going to stop every school shooting? Are you going to stop every act of violence? No, because certain people are just going to do that. But at the end of the day, we need to have tools in place to try to prevent it as much as humanly possible, and we need to be able to equip the ones that are the most vulnerable with some sort of level of security to make sure that they're safest. And that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. So, let me follow up on this. Peg and I had a personal situation about 6 weeks ago. I get a knock at my door, and I look outside, and it's a neighbor across the street down the way. He's got a t-shirt on, socks, and no shoes. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, 9 o'clock, and it's 10 degrees out. So I know there's a problem there. So I look outside, I see Peg. I say, Peg, it's a neighbor. I'm gonna let him in, but first, the safe's unlocked. Give me my gun. So she got my gun, put it in my pocket back here. I let him in. I said, what's going on? I didn't realize the guy had surgery 4 years earlier and had been taking heavy doses of opioids for years. So he wasn't all here at that time. He thought his wife was trying to kill him. That's why he ran down to see me. We got hold of 911, and my cell phone didn't work. We dialed 911 with cell phone, didn't work. Dialed 911 with Peg's cell phone, didn't work. I dialed 241-3300, chief. Got the guys in my house right away, and EMS came, police came. One officer stayed in with me. We had the guy there. I gave him shoes and a blanket right away, tried to get him warm, talked to him, calmed him down a little bit. The other officer went to his house. He talked to his wife. You know what they did? They took all his guns. Why can't we have a registry that, if we have all this great IT in the world, why can't we have a registry that hooks up with medical and to see that, well, you know, Joe has been seeing a counselor for 4 years. Joe's severely depressed. We really don't want to sell Joe a gun today. We need to have that. We need to have that discussion. I know the NRA doesn't want it. We need to have that discussion. We're not going to get rid of guns, but we need to get rid of them from the people that we know don't deserve a gun today. Yes, ma'am.